You have a unique opportunity to save Bitcoin and become wealthy in the future. Take advantage of it. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whenever you are. Thank you for watching my videos. My name is Da Vinci. I'm in the pipe 5x5 here in Dubai. Man, you know what? It's a red weekend, right? Which we were expecting, right? If you watch the other show, we were showing trading going down. We're doing a trade downwards with Ethereum and everything else, and Solana as well. And so we are in a red market today, and we got a little bit of a gap, right, with Bitcoin. But the most important thing, right, I think most of you all have to remember is that you have an option now, which most people won't have, because they're the very few that are watching this channel, right? Is that you are going to learn that Bitcoin is your asset to save. You know this. If you're watching my channel, you know this, right? Even though you don't have any Bitcoin, you know, right? You need to save. And let me show you something. I want to show you something. If you save your wealth in assets other than dollars, you will appear to be richer, but you're not. Okay? You need to work hard, save your money, right? And that will ensure your wealth. But don't save it in dollars. You need to save it in gold. You need to save it in Bitcoin, right? This is an example of that. You're not richer because you have 10 kilos of gold, right? Today. Yeah, it looks, you got a crazy number of dollars. But that's irrelevant. That's irrelevant, right? The gold shows you haven't really increased your value that much. Real value is assets such as Bitcoin and gold that will preserve your wealth, right, over time. Humans, we innovate, so that's why the home is slightly cheaper than it was back then, priced in gold. So this is it. Whether you buy gold or whether you buy Bitcoin, you know what you have to do. So I want you guys to stop and let that sink in for a second. Let that sink in. All right? And remember, the EU is like telling you, pack 72 hours worth of stuff because something's about to go down, right? So hopefully that 72, the stuff is going to include some gold, some Bitcoin, right? All right, let's move on to trading. And if you're interested in trading, you can do so at bybit.davincij15.com. Let me just type that in. bybit.davincij15.com or levx.davincij15.com, where you could actually watch us live. There's 1,000 people who have signed up here, 1,117 actually. And yeah, you can watch us live and, ask me questions and I'll answer them, do my best to answer it just by signing up at levx.davincij15.com. That's all that's needed, nothing else. WEEX, we also do some trading at WEEX, right? We got an open long trade for the long haul. We're going to add to that trade in a little bit, probably when Bitcoin's a lot lower, right? And let's head over to this chart here that shows us that, well, we've got a CME gap, right, coming. I don't think this is a good chart, but here, this is not the chart I wanted to start off with. This is the most important chart. Why? Why do I say this is the most important chart? This chart is the dominance chart. Now, all the lines here have existed when we were down here. We were down here. I posted those lines, I thinking they were never going to come back to them. Never. And look at that. What the hell? What the hell? Right? So basically those lines indicate that, Bitcoin is taking over the whole crypto market, right? And so this indicates that we're about to make a crazy move, an absolutely insane move to 64%. Now, you're thinking, that's not a whole lot. Dude, let me explain something to you, right? This says here, that Solana is about to take a dip all the way down by 50% priced in Bitcoin. That's only a few percentage points when you take a look at the whole of Solana, market cap, right? So yeah, this is a big damage priced in Bitcoin. You have the ultimate asset to save your wealth, so use it, right? That means you need to switch. You trade Solana to get more Bitcoin, but that's it. Okay, now let's go on to some trades for today, right? We're going to take a look. Let's take a look at the liquidity before we do. And if you want to take a look at all this liquidity, you can go to trading different DaVinci J15.com, and you'll get a 10% discount, right, for signing up there as well. Okay, looking at this, you can see that there's a lot of liquidity, right, priced in Bitcoin. So we're going to see Bitcoin come drop below the $79,000 or at least touch the $79,000 mark before this dump is over. The problem is we could end up all the way down into the 72-ish area, 73, all in this area. So yeah, pretty scary, right? Let's take a look at the liquidity here on Ethereum. Lots of liquidity down here. I'm looking at all this liquidity and wondering, man, are they going to go for that with some sort of like, what's it called, crazy move? Because, Vitalik is doing all kinds of stupid things just to get the price down. So I'm just wondering if that's what he's doing, if that's on purpose. Wouldn't be surprised. This is how the market works. These guys manipulate it. And so, yeah, looks like there's a target there, right, on the back of those people. Yeah, good luck with you guys who are shorting the snot on it. Make sure you take profits because, yeah, they're coming. They're coming. I think they're coming. Right, it's too big of a juicy thing. And now take a look. I told you guys that 80K is the target, probably. $80, sorry, not 80K, Jesus, $80. And so we have a lot of liquidity before we start ending, which is at the end of around the $80 area. So 84, 85, 80 something. We're going to probably, I know it hates it. I don't even want to talk about it. Jesus, it's brutal. All right, let's move on to do some trades. You can see that actually the Bitcoin has broken down. We have to be careful that that we could reverse here to clear the gap, just to wipe everybody out, wipe out the trade, anybody who jumps in on a short early, right? Bitcoin likes to do that. So you're going to have to either just wait this one out. And really, honestly, with the gap, if you missed the entry for the short, which was way up here, right, was way up here. We were trying to see if we could time it up here. It didn't happen, and it rolled over. This was the entry for the short. If you're not in it, you should not get in it right now. Why? Because we can see that there could be a chance for it to retest this highs. So if you want to jump on a short, the best way to do this, right, is to wait. Either do nothing, or you enter here and let it, and if it doesn't get in, it doesn't happen. That's it. You let it go. You go, let's see here. Take a 1% loss. Yeah. And 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio. So the reason why I always do 2-to-1, even though you can hold it going further down, right? And you can just, jump in, just jump out when it's time. Yeah, you can do that. But you should always move your stops or your stops so that you can take profits if prices reverse on you. So make sure you do that. So that's the best choice right now for Ethereum trade if you want to get, Bitcoin trade if you wanted to get in. And for Ethereum, well, I didn't mean the trade was up here. I told you guys way up here. And then see the 2-to-1, and then you got your 2-to-1, you could have gotten a lot more, right? Right now, it's kind of risky to jump in again. Just pretty much looks like we're probably rounding down the bottom here. So There is probably more downward pressure, but there could end pretty quickly. We could just test the last lows and then break through a little bit and then come back up. So be careful of that. Looking at finally Solana. Yeah, it's testing the lows, right, and trying to decide on direction here. It looks like the direction is up rather than down, unfortunately. Which, if you have a short, unfortunately, if you have a short, sorry. So if you have a short, you might want to close that short out. Because there's the possibility, depends on how long. You could move your short to, let's see here. If you move your stops to, if you started early, right, which was way up here, you can move your stops to above the 130-ish area, and that would be fine. Or you can short there as well. But be careful, of course. This could go wrong on you very easily. So just remember that this is not a guaranteed short here, but here it is something that you can do right there as well. I would keep this tight, 1.5% approximately, and just a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio that comes back into the trade so that you can walk away with something. Comes back into basically the consolidation area. So yeah, that's the best choice for Solana. Okay, well, that's it for today. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed today's episode, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.